Peter?
I think it's fun to start.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll start. All right. Hi, everyone. Looks like we're waiting for a few more people to jump on, but we're going to start promptly here at 6:30, right on the dot. These days are certainly blending together. We're going to do a couple different sections for this webinar. And first off, we're going to introduce the panelists who are currently on the call. So I don't know if we just wanted to kind of go around. I'm happy to start. My name is Bradley Seltzer. I'm one of the membership co-chairs for HYP, along with Chris Luxick, who is also on the screen if you have your screens on. And we are as the name would suggest, the two chairs of the membership committee. So a lot of what we do is involved with retaining and expanding our membership, having membership events. We'll have some pictures of those later in the webinar as well, some of our in-person as well as virtual ones. And I'm looking forward to spending the span of time with you guys. Chris, do you want to go next?
Sure, Bradley. Thanks so much for the great introduction. My name's Christopher Luxick. I am Bradley's counterpart here to HYP, the other membership co-chair. I started with Harrisburg Young Professionals just under 2 years ago now. And we're coming up on the end of my first term here as membership co-chair. So thanks so much, guys, for coming out, for taking some interest in wanting to learn more about not only Harrisburg, but about Harrisburg Young Professionals. I'm really excited for tonight. Can't wait to hear what everyone has to say.
Peter, you want to go next, talk about kind of your role in HYP and maybe some of what you do?
Yep, sure. Hey guys, my name's Peter Magoulas. I am one of the Arts and International co-chairs. My other co-chair is Justine Fabian. She might be joining us. She got tied up with something work-related, so she sends her apologies if she doesn't get on. Also in my first year term on the board as well. So I'm on the board with Mo.
I also love your background. It's very, it's like a concert hall or like the Oval Office or something. I love it. But Mo, do you want to go next, and then we'll finish off with Corey Ann?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Mo, or Monica, and as Peter said, I sit on the board currently. I'm part of the executive team as secretary for this year. And I think I've been involved now with HYP for 8 years, which is a very long time. I feel really, really old, but that's okay. I live in Midtown. I work in downtown, so kind of living and breathing HYP.
Hi, everyone. My name is Corey Ann. I am one of the co-chairs for the Outreach Committee. We focus on really volunteer and fundraising efforts for local organizations in the city of Harrisburg, as well as HYP. I've been involved with Outreach since 2015 or 2016, I think, and I've been a co-chair on the committee the last 2 years, and I'll be going into my third year well, 2021 will be my third year.
And actually, if you all will bear with me, I'm going to put up a slideshow. I know what you're thinking. I know another slideshow, but we're going to keep it kind of like fun and light, conversational, really wanting it to be more of a conversation, like I was saying. Though you won't be able to talk on the webinar, you can certainly, there will be time to submit questions in the chat you might have, or comments, anything in particular you might have that you want to talk about. So HYP, you're on this call. I had a chance to look through some of the responses to the questions that we sent out from all of you. And there's a great diversity in kind of what people want to know about. I know some people kind of answered they wanted to know more about HYP, Harrisburg Young Professionals, and some people wanted to know more about the city, particularly living in the city. Maybe you just moved here. Maybe you've lived here, but you haven't been super involved in the city. I've been in that place before, of course. The first, I would say 6 months I moved here, I wasn't really doing a ton, and in turn, you know, I was kind of expecting people to come knock on my door, I guess, and to get out there and do something. But in reality, you know, I reached out and I started doing a couple of things with HYP, which we'll talk about over the course of this hour, along with our other panelists. And it really proved to be a great boon as far as professional social development. So let's go through this. Here you can see our presenters. We have Peter, Chris, myself, Corianne, and Mo. And again, we'll see if Justine hops on as well. But so we have some representation from our membership committee, Arts and International Committee, and you'll see some of our other committees as well that we have that make up the organization. Here's the general structure we're going to follow. We're going to do a brief overview of Harrisburg, talk about some of what we do in Harrisburg and how it relates to the city as a whole, and then we'll have some time for some back and forth at the end. Mo, did you want to pull up that first poll question? All right, so for everyone on the call, if you just wanted to answer this poll question here, we'll wait a minute.
That's pretty nifty. I didn't know you could throw up a poll question like that. Someone's gonna have to show me how to do that offline.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I think everyone's gotten very very acquainted with Zoom this year, and it's got a lot of hidden functionality. I think Mo is the one who showed me this. So
Yeah, Zoom is really nice. I kind of like that it has this feature too.
I'll tell you what's nice about it too is just the engagement from it. I love that aspect.
If you can see, Mo is our moderator tech guru. That's a title that I wrote, so off the record. But
yeah, definitely unofficial.
how are we looking on answers? Got a few coming in. Don't be shy. It's not a very personal question.
Looks like pretty much everyone answered. I did open it up to our panelists as well so they could participate if they wanted to. So I think we have 100%. I'm gonna close it and share the results.
All right, so man, great dining is looking a little rough there. I personally love a lot of the restaurants in Harrisburg, but hey, maybe that's just an opportunity to spread the good gospel. You know, I did personally pick beautiful parks and outdoor activities. I don't know if other people did as well. I think we've got some great parks in the area. I'm partial to Wildwood, but there's a couple other ones near here as well. And really, that question is meant to demonstrate that if you're looking for any of these, Harrisburg does have you know, a decent selection of all of them. I'm not going to sit here and say that we have the bar scene of New York City, but certainly, as I mentioned, with our outdoor activities, our historical sites and museums, I live like right next to the State Museum, so that's definitely relevant to me. And some of the other categories here, then I won't spend too much time on this, but here are just some of our statistics for the past few years. Harrisburg really is a growing area, and in fact is ranking higher than some of these other areas like Allentown, Pittsburgh, in these metrics of fastest growing, best for business and careers and young people. And this is more of that. I'll just say this. We will be sending out this presentation to everyone, so I'll kind of fly through some of these more wordy slides, but don't worry because we'll be sending that out with links and everything. And then, yeah, I know for people who live here, maybe they're more familiar with this, but for those who have just moved here, maybe are less familiar. Chris, I don't know, maybe you could talk about some of your experiences with a few of these things.
Yeah, certainly, Bradley. I know that we're not getting to the Pennsylvania Farm Show this year, but this past weekend I actually went to the food truck festival that they had, and that was awesome. Got to always pick up your Pennsylvania Farm Show milkshake. I'm sure that everyone else on the panel has at least heard of these, if not partaken in one themselves, but they're pretty awesome. The Kapona Festival is always a great time. Again, another opportunity to get some of those amazing food trucks that we have in the area. And yeah, just our huge selection of museums, from the State Museum to the Civil War Museum. There's definitely others that I'm just not coming up with on the top of my head. Anyone else got some of the other cool museums off the top of their head?
The State Hospital. That's not really a museum, but it's cool.
Did you say the art museum, Chris?
Oh, the Susquehanna Art Museum. Yeah, we'll be talking about that a little bit further on too.
Yeah, I'll bring that up a little bit later on as well.
All right, did you
Awesome.
say the Whitaker Center? That's a cool
Yep.
place
Whitaker
to explore
Center.
as well.
I always forget that's a museum because it seems so
Yeah.
fashion forward, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I live right over on North Street, so I'm right near the K-State Capitol grounds, the State Museum, a lot of this stuff downtown. And to see that some of this stuff that we're talking about, like the farm show, even though, you know, they're not having it in person this year, they are having a virtual farm show. We'll have some information on that. As well as, I'm not sure what they're doing with Kapona since that's a little later in the year, but I would imagine there's a lot of art engagement in Harrisburg, and I could see them making that virtual. And then here is basically a list of our committees. So we have 10 committees, or some people would say 9. And I don't know, Mo, what would you call Toastmasters? An affiliated committee?
Yeah, I would say 9 and a partnership / affiliate, because Toastmasters is kind of part of a bigger national kind of initiative.
Yeah. And Toastmasters is focused around public speaking. A lot of the other committees that you can see here are somewhat self-explanatory. So for instance, Arts International, which Peter is on, they're involved with planning events that are engaging with the arts or cultural events. And those have ranged from, you know, cooking classes to museum tours. And I know I recently attended one of their events that we'll talk about, and I know they have a lot planned for the future as well here. But like I said, I'll be sending this out, so you can, of course, feel free to use any of these emails that are on here to email any of the committees that you're interested in. For instance, if you're more interested in the philanthropy and volunteering side, outreach would probably be more appropriate. Whereas if you're kind of interested in economic development or bring businesses to the city, the ECDEV or City Living Committee would probably be the best for that. And here we can see kind of, I'm going to have 2 slides here. This is a slide from kind of some of our events last year, and the next one will be some of our events that we've had this year. Because, you know, while we haven't been able to do as many in-person events as before, we're definitely, you know, staying active, getting together when we can, and most importantly, you know, expanding our virtual presence as far as making those available, where we don't have to worry about, you know, getting 30 people in a room together or something. But you can see some of these. That middle one, you can maybe see some of the people on this call here. That was our new member social in, Chris, I want to say December of last year, I believe. So we're super excited to get back to those. We're also very excited to be doing kind of, you know, the virtual format. But of course, as you can see with HYP Sports, some of our trips and our other kind of fancier black tie events, we have a lot going on with ways to connect with people and ways to kind of engage socially with the community. And then this is kind of like some of the new stuff that we've been doing. So I know those the top middle and the top right photo are from one of our city cleanups. You can see our golf scramble over here, as well as some of our virtual stuff. I apologize for the Zoom photo here because that was the best one I can get, but I promise you our virtual events, like the culinary class that I attended with Peter last week, are certainly, you know, I would say rambunctious. You know, people like to talk and get social with each other and everything. So we're looking forward to kind of expanding that in 2021 as well.
So let's hear about that virtual cooking night. How awesome was it?
Yeah, Peter, maybe you can give your perspective as someone who like planned it, and then I can give Mo and Mo, you were on it too, so maybe we can give our perspective for, you know, attending it.
Sure. So obviously with the change in direction we had to take in the beginning of the year, moved to virtual, thinking about cool and creative stuff to do. Justine and I, the Harrisburg Hilton is a very big partner of ours at HYP. We support them, they support us. If we ever need a venue or space and need to make something possible or make it happen, whenever we turn to them, they're always great to work with. So when we went to some of the management there and asked them if they would be interested in entertaining the idea, they said, all they said was, you know, what's your price? Tell us what kind of price you want us to work with, and then we'll build the menu around that. We were hoping for 8 people. That was going to be our bottom line to proceed with the event. And I think we ended up getting 24 people that registered total. We got an appetizer, which was like a meat and cheese board. We did a salad. There was a mozzarella tomato bruschetta salad that we did. The main course was handmade tortellini. And then the dessert was like a open chocolate bar that you piped like a mousse into. So it was a 4-course meal. And then we also had 2 bottles of wine that came along with it. So we always include some fun in the experience. So yeah, it was really fun. It was really successful. We're back talking to the guys at the Hilton again, and we're thinking in the early spring, maybe late winter, we're gonna do a mixology / cocktail kind of deal with them. So we've had that in the works right
now. I feel like you kind of not stole my thunder, since you're the one who ran the event, but I was going to talk about the espresso tart, man. That was like my planned comment on things, because it was really good. And I'm going to be honest, I had some leftover of the piping stuff, and I might have eaten it right out of the bag. But you know, that's off the record. That's off the record. Mo, what did you think? Lemon tortellinis, you know, and everything else?
That was a lot of fun. And for me, it was a small town moment, but like really, really nice, because I actually know Chef Bianco. I went to high school with him. So it was nice also like to support local, but also to like support somebody who's like up and coming in the area. But it was a really great event. I had like a few girlfriends get together. And we had a blast. So thanks, Peter and Arts.
I like seeing people's setups too. I didn't think I would like that, but it was cool. Felt a little closer in these times, you know. And I was completely remiss in mentioning this kind of on our first slide here, but you might have noticed it on the first slide that we have. You know, HYP has this motto, making Harrisburg a better place to live, work, and play. Shortened down to just live, work, and play. How can we improve the city in each of those aspects? And we really try to break that down into its different components. On this slide, I have a couple of our different events. We have the MVP program. We'll have a few slides after that, and we can get into that. A lot of people don't know about many of the programs we have. We have a home buyer credit. If you're buying a home in the city, you can apply and get a credit towards your closing costs. And we have a few other programs like that we'll be talking about. But please, I encourage you, and we'll have this information at the end, reach out to Chris and I for some of these things. Oh, I'm looking for, you know, professional development, or I'm looking for something as specific as, you know, I'm looking to buy a home in Harrisburg. And of course, we'd be happy to help you out.
For that home buying credit or the grant that we have, it's not just, oh, hey, here's $20. It is $1,000 towards the closing cost.
They put $1,000 on the table, I'm gonna take it, you know, personally. So I know many of you probably feel the same way. But another one of our volunteer events that we had recently was our 5-miler. This is typically an in-person event. We had it virtually this year, and actually, Corey Ann, would you be willing to talk about the event just like in general? Not even necessarily this year or last year, but just kind of how it generally goes, because it's an awesome event.
Yeah, so typically each year we have 5 charities that we raise money for. One of them being the outreach committee and our different efforts that we put on throughout the year, that we need, you know, different, we give dinner to some kids, we have holiday parties, so it kind of goes towards those things. And then we pick 4 local charities, and there's a 5-mile race that goes around City Island and around downtown Harrisburg. This year, obviously with COVID, we couldn't have the race in person, so we resorted to doing it virtually, and we had a pretty good turnout. I mean, we really didn't know what was going to happen with the event, if it would be well attended or donated to, but we did raise a little over $700. And this year, all of the funds will go towards the outreach committee. We didn't want to stiff any of our local organizations and not really be able to give them a donation that would really help them with anything. So we did decide to keep it for us, and it'll go towards our junior sports program, as well as our holiday and refresh programs that we have.
And Corianne will also be talking about kind of some of the things the outreach committee has done, as well as some of the, we wanted to add some stuff, some like non-HYP stuff, you know, just in general. We're a group of, I would say at the very least, fairly involved people in the community. And so we wanted to put some stuff in here for general volunteer, social stuff you can do in the wider community as well. And then as you can see, the last thing on there, which we don't have a city beautification representative on here, but that's the committee that would typically handle our cleanups. In years past, if you lived in the city, you might have seen advertising for our Forster Street cleanup. We're trying to do continue with a series of these. So you can see down in that lower right corner on November 22nd, we're having a Heart of the Community garden cleanup. I'm actually not sure, Mo, do you happen to know where that'll be based around? I know we've done an Allison Hill one this year.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. So we were working locally with a few different people. This one is with Tri-County. So they have a spot on Dairy Street, I believe. So they have their own community garden out there that we're going to be helping out with. But we've also been able to partner this year with Wild Heart Ministries and the Love the Hill Project. So we're going to continue to partner with those different groups and kind of shine a light and help out in different neighborhoods, not just focus on Forster Street or City Island.
Yeah, I'm excited to see kind of what they do going forward with that, because of course we'll, you know, I'm sure we'll still have the Forster Street cleanup, but it's cool to see kind of how it will expand. And then a little bit about on this last slide, I had this HYP MVP program, which kind of sounds like just a bunch of letters because it is, but the HYP MVP program is basically you become an HYP member and you have similar to if you're a part of another association or an organization. I work for an association, so I'm maybe more living and breathing in this world, but you know, it provides certain discounts and benefits to kind of businesses that are in the heart of the city and in the wider Harrisburg area. So on this page, I'm not going to go through all of them, but you can see kind of some of the pillars of the community here that are a part of our program. You know, of course, Midtown Scholar, Yellowbird Cafe, Midtown Cinema, these local businesses that really, in my opinion, supplant and provide a better option than kind of like the big box stores you might get. You know, Harrisburg has a great culture, and it's awesome that we've been able to partner with these businesses and kind of give them something and they can give us something back. And then here are a couple specific examples of right now. The list on the last page is not exhaustive. There's more members than that. I recommend you go to hyp.org for a full list, but you can kind of see some of the deals here, and it's not bad. I gotta say, 1700, Manjaqui, Rubicon, they're not cheap. So it's not a bad deal, at least in my humble opinion.
And Manjaqui has amazing appetizers.
It is
and
amazing.
Rubicon, they both do.
Rubicon is also amazing.
Yeah.
So is 1700, of course. But
well, yeah.
I guess it just shows you, you know, we've got the cream of the crop with these restaurants, you know, that we're supporting and they're supporting us. So then the next, oops, sorry about that. The next component of that is the work portion, which sounds really boring, but in reality, it's working to develop yourself professionally, get ahead in your career. I know, maybe we can have some of the panelists speak to this. I know what I probably have the greatest knowledge on, because this is the event I've been to the most, or How It's Built in the Berg series. So I've been to one with Larry Binda, owner of the Berg. If you ever pick up a copy of that, I think he's done a few of them actually. He's really close with us. Andrea Grove of Elementary Coffee Co. I live right near elementary, so of course, you know, I saw that one. And really, the ECDev committee handles this, and they do a lot with, you know, professional development, the ability to meet some of these movers and shakers in the community. Chris, I don't know, what was the last ECDev event you attended?
Well, the last ECDev event was, it was a professional development series. It was the, gosh, we did it at, what's the, the office place, Startup. We
Oh yeah,
did
Startup,
it,
yeah.
and I can't remember what it was that we did there, but it was an event. It was held at Startup. There was a speaker, and yeah, they went through, and actually the presenter then worked with all of us who were participating to help us achieve. I think it was goal setting, if I recall.
Oh, okay. Okay. So like professional development, they do a couple of different series. They do the professional
Yeah.
development series, how it's built in the Berg, and a few others. I know actually that jogs my memory. Someone, I'm not sure which person, but in their responses to the questions that we sent out, they put in something about co-working. They were interested in opportunities for co-working, and Startup, which Chris just mentioned. If you have been there, maybe not. Adam, who owns it, is a stakeholder, primary stakeholder. I don't want to speak for him, but he has an ownership stake in Startup. He was actually our immediate past president. So of course, if you're kind of interested in that co-working environment, happy to hook you up with with Adam's email or whatever else. And that's another benefit of HYP. You kind of get to know some of these people. I know Adam is also involved in Midtown Cinema, right? And it's one other. I'm not remembering it now, but I can get it to everyone on the call.
You have the grocery
later.
store, but I think it's.
Oh yes, yeah. Provisions, which sadly is not there anymore. But and then Mo, maybe you can talk about EPP. I'm happy to talk about it too. I feel like you are probably more of a fount of knowledge on it, but I think it's a really cool program, kind of similar to the home buying program, where maybe not as many people know about it.
Yeah. So EPP is our program that we set up with TFEX, so the Foundation of Enhancing Communities, which they have their office right in downtown Harrisburg. So the program was kind of like a 10 or 11 month course on the aspects of grant writing and learning about your community and where the needs are. So I did participate a few years ago, and it was really awesome. So what happened is, at the end of the program and learning all these things, we got to meet with certain people, and we were awarded $5,000 that we could put back into an organization of our choosing. And we actually chose that year Downtown Daily Bread. So it was nice to be able to help them kind of level set and help the homeless community. And what they did was kind of set people right on their feet and set them up on the right foot. So that was really nice to be a part of. And what TFEC and EPP kind of developed was this event called Harrisburg Hoopla. So it's a fundraising event where everybody competes in kind of like an adult track and field day of sorts. There's like things that take some skill, like volleyball, and then there's things that don't take some skill, like a clothing changing race or wheelbarrow racing, fun stuff with like some brain teasers and things like that. But our goal is that every team will choose their own nonprofit to raise money for. And at the end, the money gets awarded to first, second, and third. So yeah, fun events like that. And that should come back. COVID restrictions pending.
And of course, it's all for a good cause, which is great. There is a lot of need in the city, just like any city, and for things to go poorly, it's just for good people to do nothing, right? I'm paraphrasing a famous quote, but I think a lot of the members of HYP believe in this principle that we have a duty to help out the city in some way. Whatever committee you're on, whether that's more direct or in a more indirect way. Right. There we go. And then our last component here is play. Now, traditionally with HYP, we have 2 kind of social events a month. We'll have a first Friday happy hour and then a second Wednesday networking social. First Friday happy hour is more of like a let loose kind of event. Second Wednesday networking social is more of a, how can I meet people maybe in my career field or not in my career field, and make that connection with people, and have that professional liaison with people you might not have met had you not gone to that event. Obviously this year and continuing on for the foreseeable future, we're going to be trying to incorporate those, but also doing a couple of different things. So on here in the bottom right, you can see the culinary event that we talked about. We kind of waxed poetically about it. It was super awesome. I personally enjoyed the espresso tart. I'll give it another shout out to Chef. What is his Barada? What is that his name?
Bianco.
Bianco.
Chef
Right.
Anthony,
Sorry.
I'm Chef Brian on accident.
Yeah. Well, you're not alone,
First
brother.
name's Anthony.
But some of the other stuff that we've been doing, really trying to adapt and be inventive here. Some of them in person, some of them virtual. Our virtual pound class has been super popular. I personally have not had a chance to attend yet. I'm trying to pick up those sticks and get to it at some point, but those are Wednesdays at 5 and Saturdays at 10. And that's run by our sports committee. They are super awesome. I know Amy Moore, who's on the committee, she's one of the co-chairs. Such a wonderful person. She's on that sports committee email, and she'll totally hook you up with anything you need. I believe they're also doing the Fall Foliage Nature Walk. So we've been kind of doing these series of either hiking or nature walks, something that we can do and kind of be socially distant while also still getting together and not doing everything virtually.
Bradley, before you move on here too, I have been entrusted by the Economic Development and Social Committee for a big release that we're going to be doing on December 5th. So just hold all of your applause till the end on this here. Now I have to read off of the screen here because there's a lot that they're not letting me cover on this. But the Economic Development and Social Committees are getting together to have HYP's first annual Harrisburg Hunt, or otherwise known as a scavenger hunt. There's going to be a number of stops throughout Harrisburg that teams will be going through, taking photos either at businesses, markers, places of interest, and they will then be submitting themselves of these photos to the let's see here, to the Economic Development Committee. And there's going to be some really cool prizes that are coming out of this here. Let me see if again, I have to make sure that I'm allowed to divulge.
I was going to ask about these fabulous prizes.
So the details that I'm allowed to share, the Harrisburg Hunt will take place from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday, December 5th. Teams must find a number of stops to qualify for prizes. Let me scroll down here and see if they mention
We want to know the prizes, man.
That's what I'm looking for. Again,
it's all we care about.
Maybe it's some of those Yetis that we have saved from the 5 miler.
Oh man, those are like $200, dude. Wait, the cups or the coolers?
No, we have like actual like coffee mug Yetis.
Those are like $50.
Yeah, they're not like the big ones. They're the medium-sized ones, but.
All right, I'm not getting any details about specific prizes on here. However, there is going to be one grand prize bundle, and there's going to be drawings for a second grand prize bundle, and there might be other prizes along the way as well too. So
who knows? Probably something no one's ever seen before, right? I feel confident making that assessment. something that no one has ever seen in their lives before.
I know that Keaton and Olivia, excuse me, have been putting in a ton of time on this. They're very excited about it. They're very proud of it. The only thing that you have to do in order to participate in this is going to be exclusively open to members of Harrisburg Young Professionals. So that's the only catch is that you have to have an active membership in order to win prizes.
And hey, with unknown prizes like these, who knows? I mean, it could be a solid gold bar.
Well, again,
I'm not saying it will be that, disclaimer.
It could be. It probably, most likely, almost certainly will not be.
Maybe a solid gold Yeti.
It could be that too.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm really pushing for those Yetis, guys.
It could be. It could be. Suffice to say, the prize is going to be amazing. Probably not going to be a solid gold bar, but it will be amazing. And to the wider point, you know, we've clearly got a lot of energy and a lot of inventiveness in kind of what we're planning for next year. And honestly, even if you're not an HYP, we love to hear ideas too. So if you have something that you're really into, that you're just seeing a major blind spot and something the city isn't doing, feel free to email us, or let's make it happen. One of the really cool parts of HYP, thanks for setting me up with this, Chris. One of the really cool parts of HYP is you can really kind of create what you want to happen, you know, bend someone's ear and, you know, figure out a way to do it. Basically, that's how most of the committees run. You know, we have a cool idea and then we say, how are we going to do this? How can we make this happen in the city? Maybe that's, you know, like in Peter and Justine's case, reaching out to 1700 and setting up something that benefits both of us, a cooking class.
And maybe before we all know it, we will be able to do these events in person again instead of having to schedule a cooking over a Zoom. Not that wasn't fun, I'm sure.
Yes. It was safer, avoided the hot oil splashes. So that's good. Although I guess we still had those in our own homes, but I digress. Mo, would you like to talk about our premier event for this year, our second annual, I believe, 20 in their 20s. Some of you might have heard of 40 in their 40s, and we had to do it bigger and better.
Yeah, so last year was our first annual, and we were able to have it at the Scottish Rite. You guys can see a picture of the crowd there. It was a really good opportunity to, you know, check out the art doers of the community and kind of like give them, you know, recognition of putting back into the community. And that's something that we really take pride in doing through HYP in general. So it's going to be a really great event. It's going to be a virtual event. So what we did actually was do some interviews with the honorees, and actually Peter was one of those honorees. So congratulations to Peter. He does really good things in the community, and all these people do. And what we want to also recognize are a few special designations. So we have 2 Community Connector Awards, an Emerging Entrepreneur Award, and a Tech Titan Award. So some of the people that are doing a little bit extra and making a really big difference in their work, in their life, and in the community that they live in. So that'll be, as you see on the slide, December 16th, 2020. The event is out on our website, out on Facebook, and you will be able to see a little snippet of it. Corianne is also a winner as well.
I was gonna say Corianne won here. Just wanted to throw that one out there for Corianne.
I was not ignoring her. Because once you check out that video, that interview of Corianne, there's a really fun little Easter egg shout out to myself and Suzanne, who is also part of HYP and sits on our board. So that'll be really, really entertaining. Yeah, so check out, there's a Facebook event up and you'll be able to sign up. We're not charging for this event, but we are kind of trying to see, like, if you're able to give a donation, that would be awesome. It will go into our programming that we actually do with Emerging Philanthropist Program that I talked about earlier. So it will benefit that in HYP. I did not mean to ignore you. I'm sorry, Corey.
It's all good.
You're not on my screen right now, so I couldn't see you.
I was gonna say definitely second what Mo says about if you're on Facebook, check it out on there. They have a series of really great kind of like, I don't know, like headshots that really like pop, you know, those backgrounds really pop. Anyway, there's some really cool like pictures, you know, interviews, videos, that kind of thing that Mo was talking about. But it's sure to be an awesome event, and it's great to, you know, I was talking about 40 in their 40s and everything. It's great to have something kind of for people who are maybe a little bit earlier in their careers, but are still doing just as like great work as these people that might be a little older, a little further on in that regard. So actually, if you wanted to pull up the next poll question, I was going to, if we could answer that, and then we can maybe open it up a little bit. And then the last few slides are just our contact information, some other relevant links. Again, I'll be sending all of this out. Maybe we can get some discussion going on this. I'm looking at the, I'm catching up on the chat after I answered this question here, because there's a lot of messages flying back. Yeah, a lot on, I like the conversation on the co-working. I feel like right now the work from home thing is a big conversation. I was recently in the office for a while, and then starting Monday, we're doing full back to full remote for the foreseeable future. So certainly interesting. Okay. Oh, this is pretty interesting, actually. So we're tied city lifestyle and great local attractions and employment. Maybe I can tap the panelists if we wanted to maybe give our own assessment of these. I know probably our reasons for being here are pretty diverse. And then after that, I just say, unless anyone has any other objections, we just open it up to the chat for anyone that has any questions, and we can answer any of those burning inquiries that you have. I personally said employment. I have a political science degree. You really don't need to know the rest of the boring details, do you? I was always interested in politics, so obviously capital of Pennsylvania. Came here, moved back here in 2018. I was actually out in the Midwest for a few years, and yeah, I love the city. I love the cost of living combined with the amount of things to do. I think it's kind of a happy medium that's hard to reach, because it's either super expensive or there's nothing to do. So it's personally why I appreciate it. I don't know if anyone else wants to give this spot.
I'll jump in behind Bradley, because I think my situation kind of echoes his. I too have a degree in political science. I didn't know you had that, Bradley.
Want to talk about it, man? That's cool.
I went to school in Philly. I'm from this area originally. I'm from Palmyra originally. I went to Philly for college, lived and worked in Philly for 5 years, and moved back here 2 years ago for a job opportunity. So yeah, work definitely brought me back, and I have to say I'm pretty happy that it did bring me back, especially during these times, because there's a lot more room to move around here in central Pennsylvania.
Yeah, you know, for myself, it was just I came here because of work. I grew up in the area. I was actually, looks like, the only person that answered that poll question, just living in Harrisburg. Now I grew up outside of Harrisburg, but my company is located literally just on the other side of the river from Harrisburg. So it was a no-brainer to try and move close to my office, save myself some of the commuting time in the area. And I became involved with Harrisburg Young Professionals just as a way to get out there and meet new people in the area. And I think that that's a pretty common trend that we have with our members in HYP, is that a lot of people either are new to the area, or they're moving to maybe somewhere further away from where they grew up, and they just they don't know how to network with people within 5-10 miles of their home.
Yeah, I answered, I like the city living atmosphere of being able to walk everywhere. For a while, I lived in Old City Hall, which is right across from the Forum and the Capitol, if you're familiar with that. It's a beautiful apartment complex. They have like loft style apartments, and it was so cool to live there and just be able to, walk down the street and grab something to eat, or walk around the grounds of the Capitol, which are really pretty, or down along Front Street along the river. So it's definitely a cool place. I'm really sad I don't live there anymore. I always tell my husband I want to move back to our little apartment, but we bought a house. My husband works in York, so we bought a house in Edders because it's kind of a halfway point between me working in Harrisburg and him working in York. So, but I'll get back there one day.
Mo,
Yeah, that'd
I
be
think
great
you're-
to
yeah.
see you at Brick House again, Corianne, on a regular basis.
I know. Yeah, I'm still in Harrisburg all the time, even though I don't live there. Just not with COVID, and it's so sad. I miss all of the friendly faces you
I
see when
miss
you're
going to see
downtown.
Ashley all the time and giving her all of my money and time.
Yeah.
So like I said before, I live in Midtown, so I am in the thick of it, just like Bradley's as well. But I also work downtown at a place called And Culture, so it's super convenient for me, and it was really great that I could find a place to work within the city, because this is really where I want to spend my time and really give back to the community, and do better about getting us more involved with certain areas around the city as well. So it's been nice. But I'm from Mechanicsburg, so I actually never wanted to move back home, and I did because of my parents, and it actually ended up working out, and I liked it, so I stayed. And I think now I've been home for like 10 years, so didn't expect it, but definitely appreciate, all the things that we can and can't do. And, it is nice, having an airport nearby and the train station nearby. Like there's ways to escape and have some fun and then come back. And again, also with the cost of living, it's really nice. I have a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, which is pretty rare for Midtown anyway. And it's extremely reasonable. I can never live in like Philly and get this get this atmosphere by any means for under $2,000. So yeah, everything has worked out in my favor, and enjoy kind of like making these relationships that I have with this team, and looking forward to more.
And
You're
Mo,
probably-
sorry, just as close as Mechanicsburg is to Harrisburg, it really feels like they're two separate worlds.
Oh, 100%. It's that really weird stigma of East Shore, West Shore, and that like battle in between. And trying to break that stigma is definitely part of why I moved from Camp Hill into Midtown and have not moved out ever since. I've been here for like I think I'm going on like my 5th year of living in Midtown overall.
I was just going to agree with you, Mo, that I feel like I sort of, like with the political science thing, sort of moved back here for my parents too, but also I've had ample opportunity to leave by now. So clearly I can't keep relying on that as my one thing. But yeah, thanks to all of our panelists for that. It's always cool to hear specific perspectives, because I know everyone has a story. And so the next slide, which I titled, I literally can't wait any longer. Please tell me how to join. I'm sure the question you're all asking right now. The best part is $40 a year. That's like way less than most people probably spend on coffee at Starbucks a year. And I won't go through all of these, but of course, beyond kind of what we've mentioned on this presentation, we have a ton of benefits and opportunities for your HYP membership. Stuff that we didn't even have time to go over because it's just so expansive. We've got a newsletter, we've got microloan programs, we talked about the home buying credit, the MVP program. Additionally, I mean, obviously, you can probably tell we're all jazzed and psyched and maybe a little stir crazy to get back to our HYP family, next year. Personally, this is not solicited by anyone on the committee or on script or anything. I'm saying New Year's, I'm checking out to New Year's, and then New Year's hits, and I'm like, okay, let's see what's happening, man. Let's get into it. Let's make it happen. So really excited for 2021. And as I've mentioned a couple of times already, you'll be getting these slides, so don't worry about reading all through of this. And then lastly, we got some requests last time. This is kind of based on feedback that we got. We got some feedback last time of, just some non-HYP stuff to do. So, in the event that you just maybe you want to see what Harrisburg is about with some of the other great organizations in the city. These are just a couple of slides put together for a couple of upcoming events that will be in the city, and then some philanthropic events as well. I'm not going to go through these super specifically. Chris, maybe really briefly, you can talk about your time at CPFB. I know you talked about it a few times and you seemed really excited about it.
Sorry, finishing typing something out in the chat here.
All good.
Yeah, so the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank, it's been a lifesaver for me during COVID. I used it just as an opportunity to get out of my apartment, get moving, do something, just physically exerting over my time. And I have absolutely fallen in love working there. They package between 10 and 15,000 meals or food boxes. I think they said every week the last time I was in there. They do so much, and they help. I mean, they have an impact with, again, 10 to 15,000 families on a weekly basis. And they do serve a large area within Pennsylvania. So it's not, even though it is called the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank, they do work with other food banks in all over Pennsylvania to help families that are in need. And it's really cool. So if you ever want to get to a warehouse and just bust your butt putting food cans, milk, I mean, anything that you can do to help out over there, and put it into a box and have it sent over to a family, it's a really rewarding experience.
Thanks, Chris. I really appreciate that. It's easy to be passionate about the easy things, but that I don't know. It was good to hear. Made me feel
it's a blast,
good.
and seriously, all the people that are there, we have so much fun the whole time. It's awesome.
I've been there a few times doing prep and stuff, and that was definitely fun. It was mostly through work. I didn't get a chance to really volunteer on my own time, but
so they're doing all of their operations now out of the farm show complex at the giant building that's there. And
oh, cool. Well, that makes sense. They might as well not let that big empty building go to waste, right?
Right. And so they're just using that as a central distribution center. So we're not doing any kind of food distribution from there. It is 100% warehouse work, and you will be winded by the end of it.
You'll be sweating.
But it's fun.
And I see we had a question here, and it looks like there was an answer provided. I was gonna read that out, but I think that answer is pretty comprehensive. I think we have around 2,000 members. Mo, was that you that made that answer?
No, I'm sorry. It was just.
Oh, no. That's all good. I just wanted to know who actually made the answer, so I could be like, oh, the authoritative, informative person, informed person. Yeah, my understanding was around 2,000 total. And then as far as, I don't know if you wanted to break down the professional and sports organization members. Last count I had, it was around 700, the professional organization, right? And 2,000 overall. So sports are obviously a big component of HYP as well. But thank you, Gabrielle. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. This is the first time checking the chat for that name, so I feel really embarrassed if I got it wrong. But the next few pages are really just nothing that I think we really need to go over. These are just links to Facebook, Instagram, our website. I would say definitely check if you're on Facebook as well as our website, hyp.org, for upcoming events. And then we also have a merch store. You want to get some fresh HYP merch. I know I need to invest on a quarter zip here real soon, and I'll wear it probably for the December one, is what I'm thinking. Planning out my month in advance. And then here are just a few more emails. So that first one is our committee email, membership@hyp.org, relatively easy to remember. And then our info email, and then this is my email, so it's your BA12, and Chris's email, Chris Luxick 950. And then I'm also seeing, it looks like, oopsie, sorry about that. Corianne, you were going to talk about the Salvation Army as well, because you're doing a lot with them.
Yeah, so right now we're trying to highlight some of the programs they're doing. It's a little bit too late for tonight's event, but they did have a tree lighting ceremony tonight, where they had it on their brand new campus. That I'm so sad, because this summer was going to be the first summer that we did Refresh in an air-conditioned building. Refresh is a program we put on during the summertime with the kids that do the Salvation Army summer camp. We teach them basic entrepreneurial skills, and they also learn a lot about giving back to their community. And they do this by putting on a like a lemonade stand in downtown Harrisburg. We always do it in a really hot old church in Steelton, and so we were looking forward to this year having air conditioning, but sadly, COVID stopped us from getting together this summer. But we're just trying to highlight a lot of the programs that they're doing. You can donate to them. They are giving meals out to families for the holidays that can't afford it. Also, if you know someone who is in need of help during the holidays, please have them reach out to the Salvation Army. They have a lot of resources that they can help, and not just during the holidays, all throughout the year. They have a lot of programs, and they're great people. The Harrisburg chapter, we do a lot of different events with them throughout the year. And also, just in general, if anybody's interested in volunteer opportunities, Chris shared with me the Central Penn Food Bank information. I'm going to get that out to our committee. Since we can't actually volunteer, put on any events ourselves, I should say, we've been resorting to kind of getting information out to our committee members that other local charities who are accepting volunteers. So we're not directly involved in the planning of these things. We just kind of get you the information you need if you want to sign up. You guys mentioned the reverse holiday parade. A lot of us from our committee will be doing that on Saturday morning. So maybe I'll get to see a few of your faces there, but seems like a really cool idea to just kind of get out of the house. I believe people are actually going to be driving around City Island. I don't think you're walking around. So it is definitely socially distanced and safe if you're interested, want to get out and do something and feel a little bit normal.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that. I kind of zoomed through it, but the reverse parade, which I put on there and looked really cool, I'll probably be there. That is this Saturday. So if you're looking for info on it, and again, we'll send these slides out, be sure to get on that, because it definitely looks, I've never heard of a reverse parade. I don't know why, because it seems very intuitive and like the natural evolution of this, but yeah, it sounded great.
Just dropping some knowledge, because I didn't know that we had one.
That's cool.
That's that new.
Learned something new. Yeah, it was this year. Apparently, they somebody bought the rights for this for us to have a professional basketball team. So I didn't know that either.
A professional basketball team.
They're like a semi-pro or something.
I'll take it. That's pretty awesome, man. Wow. I didn't know about that. I'll have to look into that. Central PA Kings. I like the name too. Definitely exudes strength. But yeah, well, I don't want to keep anyone much longer. We're hitting our hour mark. I personally want to say thank you all for coming to this. We put a lot of work into developing things, and it's also a lot of fun. We get to kind of get on here and just have a conversation with our friends and meet some new friends. My motto is stranger is just a friend you haven't met yet, you know. So hopefully I get to kind of meet some of you next year. If not, happy to continue meeting you over the virtual format. Chris, any parting words? And I guess I'll say, pro b-ball team. I know that was my reaction. I'm like, what? But Chris, if you have anything else, otherwise I'll say, you know, last call for questions and everything. Thank you, Nicole. See that chat.
Yeah, the only thing that I want to say, guys, just take a minute, reach out to us. If you have any questions about the organization, you have any questions about the Harrisburg area, you have any questions about the central Pennsylvania area, we're here to help you guys out to make sure that you're getting the most out of living in this area. I encourage every single one of you to, of course, look into joining HYP, become a member, and regardless, we're still going to help support you guys, especially during this crazy time. With people that are just moving into the area, there's nothing that any single person on this panel wants to do other than make sure that you guys just feel welcome, feel at home here. So shoot us the email, arts@hyp. Corey Ann, outreach, is that correct?
Correct. Outreach@hyp.org.
Yeah. You guys are going to have both Bradley and mine personal email addresses. You can also reach us at membership@hyp.org. We're here to completely support you. So thank you all for your participation. I love it.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye, everybody.